So the Abilene DNOW, it was rough to begin with.
Yeah.
There was a lot of complications to just start. Like, just getting there was one of the toughest, I think, challenges for a DNOW that I think anybody may have been a part of. So, yeah.
But I mean, just the fact that we had like 30 helpers, including Glowing Heart, which puts us at almost 50 people. It was like 42, give or take. Just having so many people, trying to brief them on the DNOW, and then the bus.
I did it. I turned the bus off. I thought I was saving gas.
Yeah, I mean, we all were like, oh, it's gonna be okay, you know? We can just turn the bus off, not waste anything, because it seems like we're gonna be here for a while. And so we all were like, oh yeah, you know, this is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Nope, apparently not. The
Yeah.
bus doesn't turn back on.
Psych.
Gotcha. And so just
Man.
having all of that happen, you know, it was obvious that there was spiritual warfare happening.
Yeah. Well, and it goes so well with our material. Like, literally, we were being
yeah.
thrown into the battle.
Yeah.
And that's the theme of our material, is the battle that we're facing in Ephesians 6. You know, that having that spiritual armor. You know, we were literally having to gear up for this DNOW.
Yeah.
Just like we've been teaching these students, and so, you know, just being thrown into that in such a way where, you know, we really had to take on the armor that we were trying to put on these kids, you know, and to set that example, like, was a huge deal. So going into this DNOW, you know, without Henry, but also without Bobby, you know, our assistant director, you know, we're down both of our, you know, top people, and, you know, the leadership team was having to take over and really, you know, keep us accountable and on track to where we were supposed to go. And so finally getting there was like, I mean, that was a huge relief in itself, but just having to, you know, really focus on what we're going to do as soon as we got there. You know, how are we going to, you know, let's get this game plan going. You know, who's going to set up this? Who's going to set up that? And, you know, just putting it all together so fast was a huge deal. And then, you know, the speakers not working. And there were just so many obstacles over and over and over again. And it was exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, finally getting to worship that night was literally so cool. Because I think I remember just being like, okay, finally, we've just got to let this go, because we were so weak at that point that it was like, you know, what are we gonna do? But, you know, just allow God to do it. It was that abandon that set the tone for the next day. You know, we had to get up. We were doing the canned food drive, and the Boy Scouts had already beat us to some of the houses. And then
All of the houses.
Yeah, all of the houses. Having to go to stores and get cans, but still God was victorious. Still God showed that, you know, we were still going to serve. We were still going to get that done. But, you know, I love that verse in 2 Corinthians. What is that one?
Yeah, 2 Corinthians, it's chapter 12, verse 9. And it just says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me." And that really, I mean, that just hit us. So, like, that was probably our theme verse.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really what we had to lead with, was knowing that. And it was really put to the test. With all the spiritual warfare and getting there 4 hours late and having to set up faster than I think y'all ever had to. And me being kind of there to observe, but trying to help out where we can. Just getting to see it all come together still with so many obstacles, and just getting to see God really wanted to do something there, and he was going to make sure that it happened. And, you know, God is victorious over Satan. He has complete control of the situation, no matter how bad it may seem to us. You know, he's sovereign, and he's complete control of how we want to serve him and how he wants to direct. And so even though, you know, your dad was out as the director, God's really the director of that DNOW. And I think that was so cool, getting to just I think come to the realization that we're like, you know, we can't do this. Like, we're struggling already, but like getting to see God intervene and remind us that it's all Him anyway. And then going into that first night of worship, just releasing that to Him. And I think the leaders, just as well as the kids, were able to respond in that time with such release, with such like letting go of stress, letting go of struggle, letting go of doubt and fear, and releasing that to God, and getting to just really be immersed in the love of God and getting to praise Him for who He is despite the struggles that we've been through.